Hello everyone, this is Eye on Africa for Friday, July 29th. Here are the headlines. The African National Congress gathers this weekend to decide on its policies for the next 5 years. At the top of the list, how to deal with corruption. We look at the accusations by the DRC's military that Rwanda is supporting the M23 militia group. Our correspondents report from the ground. And as Amapiano takes the world by storm, we tell you more about this musical genre born in South Africa. Thank you for being with us. The African National Congress, South Africa's ruling party, is holding an important convention this weekend. It will be debating and deciding on its policies for the next 5 years. President Cyril Ramaphosa has urged his party's members to come up with solutions for problems like unemployment, the energy crisis, and corruption. France 24's Nadine Theron has more.
One of the most sensitive subjects that the more than 2,000 delegates will be debating is corruption within the ANC. President Cyril Ramaphosa was adamant that this problem must be solved.
We often allow a whole lot of wrong things to continue. Corruption, malfeasance, poor service to our people, poor management, just to continue without any form of consequence management. It is the fraud and the corruption that in the end robs our people of proper service delivery. Comrades, this must end, and this conference must address this problem.
The National Executive Committee recently admitted that more than 200 ANC members were named in an investigation into the looting of state coffers under former President Jacob Zuma. The practice is known as state capture.
I actually expect that that topic will be widely debated in this national conference because it affects the ANC directly. As we have seen in the Zondo report, the ANC is also mentioned in very unsettling terms. So our responsibility and duty as leaders and members of the ANC is to confront this issue frontally and come up with proposals as to how we can be able to improve our situation.
According to the ANC's rules, members who have been charged with corruption must step aside. Some members want this rule to be scrapped, while others want it to be strengthened. The party has 2 days to adopt a united stance on how to deal with its corrupt members, paving the way to end the era of state capture.
Well, as the convention takes place, the ANC is also dealing with protests due to its financial woes. News has emerged that employees at various ANC offices nationwide have not been paid for 2 months. Angry workers demonstrated in front of the party offices. Here's what one of them had to say.
Yes, it's been 2 months without the salary until yesterday when we saw some of the employees getting their salaries for only the month of June. We are still waiting for others to get their June salary. All the other staffers have not received their salaries for the month of July.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is still reeling from the violence that erupted there earlier this week. Protests against the MONUSCO mission ended with the deaths of at least 16 civilians and 3 UN personnel. For those who lost loved ones during the protest, it is the start of a long grieving process. Some of them are blaming the UN for the death of their relatives.
Our morale is still high. We're still determined. We're asking MONUSCO to leave our country, and we're all ready to die. We're asking the government to join us in ensuring that people who've been killed by MONUSCO are buried by the government.
Who's behind the recent upsurge in fighting in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo? It's a question that many observers have been asking since the M23, a Tutsi-led armed group defeated in 2013, made a comeback last November. Kinshasa accuses Rwanda of supporting the rebels and of deploying troops on its soil, something that Kigali denies. The international community, meanwhile, has remained silent. So what evidence does the Congolese army have to back up these accusations? Clément Bonneau and Justin Kabumba report.
M23 militiamen hold their positions on this hill. I can see them with their weapons. They have machine guns.
The front line is just 3 kilometers away on the other side of the Ruangouba Bridge, some 25 kilometers from the Ugandan border. Over the past month, the Congolese army has deployed reinforcements to contain the rebels.
The enemy we have in front of us has heavy weapons, mortars, machine guns. We have the same weapons to defend our positions, to prevent them from getting here. We have already attacked them twice, and we've so far managed to repel them.
Since the M23 made a comeback last November, there's been much speculation as to how the rebels have managed to get their hands on such advanced weapons. The group was defeated in 2013 and then demobilized. The Congolese army believes it's been receiving support from neighboring countries.
As we came into contact with the enemy, we quickly realized that it was indeed the Rwandan army that was behind it, and that the war waged by the M23 was in fact nothing but a proxy war.
La guerre que nous menait ces groupes armés M23 n'était qu'une guerre par procuration.
10 years ago, the UN publicly condemned Rwanda for supporting the M23 rebellion. Today, Kinshasa also accuses Kigali of deploying troops on its soil. The army showed us what it presents as evidence. It includes drone photographs of columns of soldiers marching at night, and this equipment and these weapons found on the battlefield.
You can see that these boots are from the Rwandan Defense Force. We found them during one of our battles. And these are helmets used by the special units of the Rwandan forces.
2 Rwandan soldiers were arrested in North Kivu in May. They were later released and handed over to Kigali. The Rwandan ambassador to the DRC and the Rwandan army spokesman declined our request for comment.
Accusations and counter-accusations of such a nature can only be verified through the expanded joint verification mechanism, not through press statements in the media.
In their latest report published in June, UN experts referred to aerial images and photographic evidence to confirm the presence of Rwandan troops in M23 camps in the DRC.
Now to the latest on the monkeypox crisis. So far, more than 20,000 cases have been recorded around the world. All but 2 deaths have been recorded in Africa, but the continent has not received a single vaccine dose so far. Sam Bradpiece has more from Dakar.
Vaccine inequality has reared its ugly head once again, not with COVID-19 this time, but with monkeypox. The European Union has already secured 160,000 doses of monkeypox vaccine. The US will imminently receive 800,000 doses, and yet Africa has yet to procure any doses at all. So far this year, there have been more than 2,000 cases of monkeypox recorded on the continent and at least 75 deaths. Since 2020, there have been more than 360 deaths from monkeypox on the continent. Last week, virologists from across West Africa met here in Dakar to receive training on how to better diagnose and test for the disease. Yet it goes without saying that without an effective vaccine and without stocks of effective vaccine, more deaths here in Africa are inevitable.
Over the past 2 months, France has filed charges against 5 more children of Omar Bongo, the former president of Gabon. Those charges are linked to alleged ill-gotten Gabonese assets in France. Investigators believe several members of the late president's family to have knowingly benefited from a fraudulently acquired real estate empire that includes properties such as apartments in the upscale 15th and 16th districts in Paris. Earlier this year, France filed charges against 4 other of Omar Bongo's children. Finally tonight, we are telling you about what's being billed as a musical revolution. In South Africa, on every radio station, in every nightclub, and even in stores, you will likely hear Amapiano. The musical genre is now taking the world by storm. It's set to hit 1 billion streams on Spotify this month. Sophie Lamotte has the story.
The new musical sensation, coming all the way from South Africa. It fuses house, jazz, and kwaito, another South African style of music, also born in South Africa's famous Soweto township a few decades earlier during the apartheid. Kamo Mfela grew up there. She took a leap of faith 4 years ago and jumped into the world of Amapiano.
Amapiano has changed my life in the sense of I never imagined myself being in certain positions that I'm in today. Not because it wasn't my dream, but I never thought it was possible, especially from being a girl who lived in a one-room in Soweto and now being on the biggest stages with bigger superstars, you know, like Chris Brown and Wiz.
Originating from the Rainbow Nation, Amapiano reflects the country's diversity as it puts its black youth at the centre stage. But also through its creative process. Amapiano blends with local music scenes worldwide. A haven for reinterpretation and cultural exchange.
There's not a single thing in South Africa that an Amapiano artist has not touched. We are the movers and the shakers of the industry right now. And even besides that, we're so inclusive with people that come from outside the genre to collaborate with. We are always collaborating, we're not competing with one another.
The movement is set to hit 1 million listens on Spotify this summer, and cultures around the globe continue to incorporate it into their own music scenes, creating endless possibilities for this booming style.
Don't know about you, but that is a perfect soundtrack for a Friday night. And that does it for Eye on Africa on this Friday night. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned to France 24.